July 13th, we're going to start with Shalok number 14.
मन रे साची कसम रजाए, मन रे साची कसम रजाए, जिन तन मन साज सिगारे, जिन्ने तन मन साज सिगारिया, तिस से तिलेव लाए, तिस से तिलेव लाए, मन रे साची कसम सजो। राम नाम मन दे दिया, अवर के करी विचार, शब्द सुरत सुख उपजै, प्रभ रातो सुख सार, जो भावे त्यो राख तू, जो भावे त्यों राख तू, मैं हर नाम आधार, मन रे साची कसम रजाए, तन बैसंतर होमी है, एक रत्ती तो लकटाए, तन मन सब दा जे करी, अन दिन अग्न जलाए, हर नाम में तुलना पूजई, जे लख कोटि करम कमाए, मन रे साची कसम रजाए, अर्ध शरीर कटाइए, सिर करवत धराए, तन हेम चल कालिए भी, मन तेरो न जाए, हर नामे तुलना हो जाई, सब जेठी ठोक बजाए, मन रे साची कसम रजाए, मन रे साची कसम रजाए, कंचन के कोट दत्त करी, बहु है वर गैवरदान, दान गौआ घणी दी अंतर गर्भ गुमान ਵਿਦਿਆ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਮਨ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਗੁਰ ਦੀਆ ਸਚਦਾਨ ਮਨ ਰੇ ਸਾਚੀ ਖਸਮ ਰਲਾਏ ਮਨ ਹੱਠ ਬੁੱਧੀ केतियां केते वेद विचार केते बंधन जिया के गुरमुख मोख द्वार सच्चे ओरे सबको सचो ओरे सबको ऊपर सच आचार मन रे साची हसम रजाए सब को ऊंचा आखिए नीच नदी से कोए एक ने भांडे साजिए एक चानन तैलो कर्म मिले सच पाइए तुर बख्श न मेटे कोई मन रे आजी खसम रजाए साधु मिले साधु जने संतोख वसे गुर भाई अकथ कथा विचारिए जे सतगुर माहे समाए पी अमृत संतोखिया पी अमृत संतोखिया कर के पैदा जाए मन रे साची हसम रजाए खट खट वाजे किंगरी अन दिन शब्द सुभाए विरले को सोची पई गुरमुख मन समझाए नानक नाम ना विसरै नानक नाम ना विसरै छूटे शब्द कमाए मन रे ऐस हसम रजाए जिन तन मन साज सिगारिया तिस से तीले बुलाए मन रे साची हसम रजाए। In our last sitting, Gurbani was giving us a message, and the message was आकाशी पाताल त्रिभुवन रह्या समाये, आपे भक्ति भाव तू आपे मिले मिलाए, नानक नाम न विसरै जो भावै तिवे रजाए. So let us spend a few moments and see what this message was, so that we can see what is the relationship to the next line. Whenever the mind-body system decides to do something on the path of spirituality, it immediately starts expecting the credit for it. I am doing something. So, if you are doing something and you remember that you are doing something, in the outer dimension, that sounds very good. And everybody says, yeah, great job, you're doing great, fine. But in the meantime, in the spiritual dimension, whatever you're doing is being taken away. Why? Because on this side you are doing something positive, on this side the ego is going up. It's getting stronger, it's getting strengthened. I am doing it. असी पाठ कर रहे हैं जी, असी कीर्तन कर रहे हैं ना, असी शब्दी व्याख्या कर रहे हैं ना. And the moment that thought comes, whatever you are doing is completely gone. So Gurbani reminds us at every step of the way that in the world of spiritualism, mysticism, and mark my words, I'm not talking about in the world of religion, because religion and spirituality are two opposite directions. A religious man also becomes a political man, and a political mind can never be a spiritual mind. We don't understand the difference. Gurbani has some very, very serious messages to give us. Gurbani said, "Tenu kirtan karna chahiye." We didn't understand what the kirtan is, so we took the baja tabla, start beating it up. We are doing kirtan. And Gurbani defined the kirtan for us. Said, "Aisa kirtan kar man mere, iha uha jo kaam hai tere." What is the kirtan? Kirtan word comes from kirat. Tanadi, oh kirat. Body's action. Which action? That is acceptable there. And that is the thing that we need to pay attention to. And in this, when we were doing this Ashatpadi 13th, we were looking at आकाश पताल तूत्रे भवन रह्या समाये, आपी भक्ति भाव तू आपे मिले मिलाए. Why is that a reminder? And that's where we get confused. आज ओदी मर्जी होगी तो करवा लाएगा दंग, ये उसकी कृपा होगी तो. अरे wait, slow down. You have a role to play here. The kirpa does not necessarily mean that you have no role to play at all, because you have been given the freedom of choice. And spirituality is something that cannot be forced upon you. Religion can be forced upon you. Right? Most of us, if we were to ask ourselves a question, even if you were to ask me, I will honestly tell you, why are you sick? Well, I was born to a sick family, and father made sure that I grew up as a Sikh. Did I choose consciously? Not at that time. Now I have chosen it. I made that choice way afterwards. Before that, I was very angry very disturbed. Why is father insisting so much on this? So much so that he made this as a condition. I'm telling you my personal life. He made it a condition of my leaving the country. You cannot leave the country. You cannot go to America unless you promise me that thou shalt not deviate from this. And I had to make him a solemn promise. Yes, I will keep my beard, I'll keep my hair, I'll keep what you think is Sikhism, even though I didn't believe it. Because I at that time was a filmy man. So I used to tell my father, दहर में तू, हरम में तू, तेरा नहीं निशान कहाँ, तेरी जमीन एक है, तो सजदे करूं कहाँ कहाँ, सजदे में सर झुका तो दूं, दिल ना झुके तो क्या करूं? I used to challenge him. And he used to curse me. Just तेरे 10 किताबां की पढ़ा देती है, मैं बड़ी गलती की है, तो आपको बहुत गल्ला करना है. But then time took a shift. It gave me the opportunity to look at the Sikh religion from outside. I became a complete outsider to the Sikh religion. You'll be surprised that when I came to this country, I was 27 years old and I had never opened this. I did not know what a Shabad means and how to sing it, what it meant. I went to Gurdwara for the first time in New York City, and there was a harmonium sitting under the table and there was nobody who knew how to play it. And the ladies with the dholak were singing. So I just saw the harmonium, I pulled it out and I started playing with them. So after they were done, now they are looking toward me. Sunao ji. No, I don't know how to sing Shabad. How can that be possible? You are a singer and you belong to Sikh family. How can you not know a Shabad? I don't. And then they said, well, next month you better prepare something. And look how the life takes a change. That Sunday, somebody who saw me took me to his house because I was a single unmarried. Where are you going? Nowhere. You have anything to do? Nothing. Okay, come with me. I went to his home after the function was over, and lo and behold, there is an elderly gentleman in their home, and they introduced me to him. This is Sant so and so Patiale wale. So I just, and he's talking to Sant. Sant ji, look at what a crazy. He belonged to a Sikh family. He has a beautiful voice, but he tells me that he doesn't know how to sing a Shabad. Is that possible? So he looks at me and says, where did you learn singing? I said, I had a hobby from the early childhood. And I went to Bombay. I wanted to become a playback singer and a music director. But I failed. It didn't succeed, so I'm here. So he says to that man, Mr. Sani, do you have a harmonium at home? He said, yeah. Bring it. Do you have a poti? He said, yeah. Bring it. So this elderly gentleman, he puts the harmonium in front of me, he does this, take it and opens it like this and say, let me see how good a composer you are. You went to Bombay to become a film director, did you not? I said, yes. So you know how to compose tunes, right? I said, yes. Well, this is not Ghalib's ghazal, this is Nanak's ghazal, so compose it now. And sing it now. Guess what? I composed it there and sang it there, and then he got after him. You crazy? You tell him he doesn't know? Take him every Sunday to the Gurdwara, open the pothi and tell him compose it and sing it. That's how I started Kirtan, the so-called Kirtan. But once I started singing, I started finding the contradiction in translations. If the Gurbani says, Sunaya Siddh Peer Suranath, Sunaya Dharth Dhaval Akash, then why I am not a Siddh? I am listening to it. Manne Pave Mokh Dwar Manne Parvare Sada. Baba, I agree with everything. How come I am not a Mukhat? Bani is saying Manne Pave Mokh Dwar. Why don't I have the Mukti? And that led me to the study of the Granth. And then I started reading various other religions. Do they mean what they say, or is there some gap? And I found every one of them completely miss the whole message. That's why Kabira says, Kabira, रंगी को नारंगी कहे, बनो दूध से खोवा, चलती को गाढ़ी कहे, देख कबीरा रोआ. Why did he say that? We also say चलती का नाम गाड़ी. हम जो ना काम चलता पे है जी, चलती का नाम गाड़ी है. Look what Kabir is saying. He's saying the fruit which is always colored. नारंगी पंजाब दी हरी हुंदी है. It's never colorless. तो इसका नाम क्या रख दिया? नारंगी. अरे उसमें तो रंग हमेशा होता है, उसका नाम नारंगी कैसे रख दिया? बनो दूध से खोवा. अब in the milk you can't see where is that खोआ, right? अजय जनानियां रिड़क के मक्खन कट लेंदी हैं, पर खोया मारना किसी चंगे बंदे को जाना पैंदा टू जस्ट क्रिएट द फैट. अजय जो तुम बर्फी खाते हो दैट्स खोआ. तो कबीर कहता है जिहड़ी चीज इतनी मेहनत नाल लभी ओहदा नाम खोया रख देता. खोया मतलब गुआच गई है ना, किसी चीज का खो जाना मतलब गुआच जाना. वो कहते जिहड़ी चीज नूं इतनी मेहनत नाल लभ्या ओहदा नाम खोया रख देता. चलती को गाढ़ी कहे. जमीन च किसी चीज नूं गड्ढिया जांदा है, कहते जिहड़ी चीज नूं गड्ढ दिता जमीन च कहंदे ओ चल पई है. When the human mind thinks completely the opposite of what the reality is, how the hell he is going to understand what spiritualism is? That's why he is saying, देख कबीरा रोआ. कहता मुझे तरस आता है इंसान की अकल पर. किसी ने भाषा चुनी है, लफ्ज कुछ कह रहा है, उसका मतलब कुछ और लिखा रहा है. And that's what is happening here also. Gurbani told us that even though you are the doer, तुम ही भक्ति कर रहे हो, तुम ही नाम जप रहे हो, but you need to remember that what? आपे भक्ति भाव तुम आपे मिले मिलाए. You are really not the doer, you are just an excuse, you are the medium. So always remind yourself so that ego doesn't go up, so that whatever you're doing does not get wasted the moment you are doing it. नानक नाम न विसरै जो भावै तिवें रजाए. If you are able to remember this all the time, it's not your doing. It is His raza, it is His will, it is His grace, it is His blessing. Remember that all the time. And if you can remember that all the time, then what will happen? That's the next hymn. See how the Ashatpadis are linked together? The next hymn says, if you are able to get to that stage, then what will happen? Ram, Nam, Man, Bedya, Avar ke kari vichar. Bedya literally means vinaya jana, bandhya jana. Then in the true sense, your mind is now in touch with what? That Naam. Whose Naam? That Ram. Which Ram? Not the one who was born to Dasarath and who was a husband of Sita. That's not the Ram we talked about. That's the Ramaya. Ramaya hoya. That Ram. This is a very common argument. I find that from my colleagues. अरे तुहाडे गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब दे विच राम जिहड़ा कैद है होर ते होर साडा जिहड़ा जथेदार है वो बकवास करन लग पिया है. He does this. We should have no problem in chanting Hare Ram. Oh yeah, we don't. Understand which Ram we are chanting. Because that Ram is also mentioned in Gurbani. And it says, Rove Ram Nikala Bhaya Sita Lakshman Bichhad Gaya. ये कोई ब्रह्मज्ञानी की निशानी है? भाई छोड़ गया है, पत्नी चली गई है और ब्रह्मज्ञानी बैठ के रोने लगा है? नहीं. We are not the Sikhs of such people. It is no reflection on anybody. We are trying to get to that pure message, which is, now when Kabir says Ram, 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 bol, bol, khojte vad bhagi. Bolo Ram, Ram kare nastara. Who he is talking about? He is saying the one who is all pervading, all present. If my mother has named me Gobind Singh, do you think I am a Guru Gobind Singh then? Just because somebody's name is Ram does not make him Ram, which is the God, symbol for God. So don't be ever confused with the words. Try to understand the real meaning. Why is this word being used here? In what sense? And it says, Ram Naam Man Bedya Avar ke kari vichar. If you are on the true path of Ram Naam, all other thoughts are going to be totally useless. They will automatically fall away from you. वो फीके लगेंगे. You will find them very cheap. ये क्या बचकानी बातें कर रहे हो? ये तो नॉइज है भाई, ये संगीत नहीं है. जहां राम और कहावत भी है, कहां राम राम कहां टाइम टाइम, बाकी सब कुछ टाइम टाइम लगने लगेगा. प्रोवाइडेड राम नाम मन भेदिया अवर के करी विचार शब्द सुरत सुख उपजाए प्रभ राताओ सुख सार. And that is the methodology of Sikhism. Understand that. Take the word Shabad and then marry it with the note for the purpose of what? Raising the consciousness. Surti. If the music that you are singing, if it relaxes the body and you fall asleep, is it called bhakti? Meditation? On the contrary, that's called entertainment. वो कान का रस है. थोड़ा सुना, मजा आया, सो गए. जब तक जाग खुली, भाई वाह आज तो भाई आनंद आ गया. वो कीर्तनिया भाई बहुत ही अच्छा था. क्यों? वहां सो के आए. Relax होगी बारी. No, in bhakti is going to actually, if it's the true bhakti, the effect will be exactly the opposite. If you want to see, give me a call today at 3 a.m. in the morning and see where I am. Every Friday when I leave here, I'm unable to sleep that day. That night is absolutely gone and I don't even try it. I just enjoy those moments. Because that's a true meditative state. It will actually, body may go to sleep, but the mind will rise. It will start becoming awake and more awake, and you will start losing the bondage of the dreams, and all those nightmares and everything will disappear. Why that is happening? Shabad Surat Sukh Upajay. If you are able to, that's why when Guru Nanak was asked, where did you learn this? Who's your Guru? And how did you start it? Kavan Guru kiska tu cheta? And he answers it, Pavan Aramb Satgur mat vela, Shabd Guru, Surut Dhun Chela. The whole process starts with breath. Pavan Aram. How? Satgur mat vela. The way my Guru, way the Satguru, ultimate Akar Guru, ne samjhaya mainu. That's the way I am taking the word, putting it with the dhun, sound rich, and that's what I repeat. And that word, what is the Guru for a Sikh? The word, which word? That helps the consciousness to rise above the sensual distractions of the human body. That Shabad, it does not matter whether that Shabad came from a human, that Shabad came from a writing, that Shabad you heard on the TV, that you heard on a radio or read it. A word that helps you to raise your consciousness in the spiritual dimension, that's your Guru. The person from whom it is cutting is not the Guru, which is one of the biggest mistakes we have made. Anybody with a long robe and a white beard and something with makeup, शाष्टांग होके मथे टेकने पैसे चढ़ाने के क्या तमाशे हो रहे हैं. And Gurbani says here, नहीं, if you are into what? राम नाम मन बेदया अवर न करी विचार, शब्द सुरत सुख उपजाए, प्रभ रातो सुख सार. प्रभ दे याद दे नाल रत्या जाना, ज्यों भावे त्यों राख तू मैं हर नाम आधार. So what's going on here? Whatever the end result is not your doing. All you can do is what you have been told, which is Ram Naam. You just stay with that, and whatever is going to happen, which is what? Jyon bhav hai, tyon rakh. It is His will. He may turn you into a Kabir, He may turn you into a Birla, it doesn't matter. You are just staying with one, which is Main Har Naam Adhar. You just stay with that practice. Why? Now comes the how. Man re sachi khasma razai. See how the ego's roots are being cut. Man re sachi khasma razai. It is the will of that Creator that you have even this capability, which is Jin tan man saaj sigarya. See, and we had talked about this a number of times. What is tan man saaj sigarya? Well, there are a lot of bodies around there. There are a lot of animals, a lot of birds, a lot of fish under the sea. They don't have this capability. That is the basic difference between Sikhism and the rest of the religions. The young children are sitting today. I want to address you. Understand this. When all other religions say, be a good person, nobody tells you be a bad person, right? Like Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, it doesn't matter. Everybody says be a good person. What's the definition of a good person? Who doesn't steal, who doesn't lie, who doesn't cheat, who doesn't kill, who doesn't do the bad things, etc., right? Have you seen any animal ever do all of those things? Ever seen a dog tell lie? Ever see a cow steal something? So what are they trying to tell us? Become a good cow? Become a better animal? Right? If I do all those things, am I better than them? Don't cheat, they don't cheat. Don't steal, they don't steal. Don't tell a lie, they don't. So if I am imitating the behavior of animal, how does it make me anything better than them? Sikhism, the first religion, we said no. That's not why you are in a human body. Because if that was to be done, you could have been given the body of a cat or a bull. You are given a human body. Human body has a potential to become godlike. That dog who's born as a dog will die as a dog because he does not have the capability. एंड कबीर एक्चुअली राइट्स इट, पूरा शब्द लिखे है, हर बिन बैल बिराने हुई है, काटे नाखुन फाटे कांदन तो तुझको भुस पई है. He's asking the human man, say, look at that bell. Now what is he doing? To make him work, the owner of the bell puts on the nail the key in English. Anybody knows? Huh?
Muzzle.
Oh, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਘੋੜੇ ਦੀ yank ਖਿੱਚਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ? Huh?
Muzzle.
Well, you know what. Yeah, anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Rain, yes.
Yeah.
Rain.
So they have that rain through the nose and they pull it. If he doesn't listen to the person, they hit him with the stone, with the rod. You say, kate nakhun, because when he pulls it, tera nak katya pe hai. Phate kandhun, kandhe de tenu sotiyan maar maar ke chamdi उड़ा देती है उन्होंने, फिर रात में जाके तेरे रोटी देनी है उन्होंने. तो करना क्या तू? सारा दिन काम करना. Okay, so let us see. Are we different? He gets up in the morning, that bull, he's fed, then he's put to work. And then in the evening, he's taken off, he's fed again, and he goes to sleep. So let's look at our own life. Is it any different? We get up in the morning, we take our breakfast, we run to work, we come back, we eat our dinner, go to sleep, get up in the morning. He says, look at that bull. Is he not doing exactly the same thing that you are doing? But what's the difference? He says, if the God was to ask him why you came back the way you were sent, he has excuse. What is the excuse? You gave me the tongue, but the tongue that you gave me can only eat. It cannot do anything else. Har bin bail birane hui hai. He says, if my life is destroyed, it is because you gave me no tool to remember you, to say your name, to do the meditation on you. Oh man, what is your excuse? When you are asked that question, what did you do with this? That's why Gurbani says, Jehba na jape na, to til kar katiye. The tongue, which is not being used in the Simarna, it should be chopped into small pieces and thrown away. It has not done its job for which it came. So human body has a special role, and Sikhism is the only one who said, don't even pay attention to the hell and heaven. That is just construct, imagination. You are in a human body form so that you can spend the life here, and by the time you go back, you have become God. And that potential is in every human. A boy, a girl, a black, a white, a Indian, an American, doesn't matter. Every human being has that potential, which is what is being pointed out. Jin, tan, man, saj, shigarya. That's a key word here. He gave you the body, then shingarya. He gave you the potential. To do what? This is seti levelai. So that you can actually become one with him. So that you have the possibility of going beyond the cycle of life and death. But if you don't do that, now the next lines are going to be the list of the things that we like to do. This is what we do. Tan bੈ santar homiye ik ratti tol kataye. Basantar, Agni. Who are the meditators who have taken the sport of the fire? Yogamat. धुनियां लगाइयां, अगली जलाई, कपड़े उतार देते, सुआ मर ली, ते अग दे सामने बह गए. तन बैसंतर होमिए एक रत्ती तोल कटाए तन मन समधा जे करी अन दिन अगल जलाए. So what's happening? He says that in doing that, the effect is actually opposite. What is the opposite? तन मन समधा जे करी. समधा कहते हैं समग्री ਨੂੰ. ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸਮਗਰੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਸੁੱਟ ਦਵੇਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ? ਅਨ ਦਿਨ ਅਗਨ ਜਲਾਏ. You are going to actually raise your ego to such a level that you will burn with the ego so much. I am such a sacrificer. I have no clothes, I have no material. Look at everything has been given to the fire. सब सामग्री बना के छोड़ देती है. मेरे पल्ले कुछ बचे ही नहीं. How great I am. So the impact has become completely the opposite. So why you are taking such a difficult path? हर नाम में तुलना पुजाई. I'm giving you a very easy way. Stay in your own family life and do meditation. नाम जप. हर नामे तुलना पुजाई जे लोग जे लख कोटि कर्म कमाए. The actions of this type would not bring the fruit to the level which a simple meditation process in your own home will help you to get there. Next, कर्म. अर्ध शरीर कटाइए सिर करवत धाराए तन हेम चल गालिए भी मनते रोग न जाए. Who followed this process? Anybody know about Jainism? Jain Mat believes in punishing the body to train it. They are so ritualistic that instead of shaving their head or beard, they literally pull the hair. लहूलुहान हो जाते हैं. क्यों? शरीर में दुख दे देना है, सौखा नहीं करना, बाल गंजे सौखे नहीं करना. They stay hungry. They punish the body to hammer it into discipline. But what is happening with that? अर्ध शरीर कटाइए सिर करवत धाराए. करवत कहते हैं आरा, to cut something that divides the body in half. तन हेम चल गालिए. Go to the hills. Ham literally means barf, the ice. You go to the places where there is ice and you sit on the ice and galiye. Destroy the body by the what they call frost bites, that type of a thing. But all this action is doing what? Think about it. See, that action is doing only to the body. You punish the body, okay, body is changed. What's happening to the mind? Mind is going the opposite way. Which is what, when we go to the Gurdwara and we are walking and we are going to do our ritual of Matha Teko, are we really there? You know what that means? Have you ever thought about it? Okay, Matha to take this? What do you think?
Pay respect.
Is that it? Is Matha taken out of respect ज़्यादा होती है?
No.
So then why do this?
I've been taught it.
Okay. Let us tell you today why is a Matha tekana there. What is the ritual? The ritual is take some money out of your pocket.
I don't know.
Put it over there. Then bow your head. And then respectfully go back and sit in the congregation. Right? These are the actions. The human exists at what levels? Physical, matter, then emotions, then intellect, then spirit. Those are the 4 dimensions of the human body. So when you take the money out, the symbol is that this matter belongs to you. I am surrendering all to you. To who? The Shabad Guru. What's the next level? Emotions and intellect. Where are they stored? Right? Brain, head, intellect. You pour that just as if you want to empty this cup, you will turn it upside down. Everything pours out. I pour all of my mind, body, thought processes also here. So now what is happening? Now I'm completely empty.
Blank.
I'm completely empty. I have no matter. I have no emotion. I have no intellect. I have given all to you. And I'm going to go sit down there. To do what? I'm going to wait for your prasad. Your grace. Because if my mind is already full of my thoughts, whatever you say, I'm not going to hear, right? In order to put something, if this cup is already full, you can't put anything more in it. So you first empty it.
Or going to analyze it.
Or you will, if you have, whatever is said, you will constantly be analyzing it. He's just BSing me. I heard that before. This doesn't make sense at all. Right? You will be doing that. So what is being actually said will never go through to you unless you have done the proper respect, what you call. That's why this thing was started. To tell a, what's the definition of a Sikh? A Sikh is never a master.
Student.
He's always a disciple. He's always learning. And if he's always learning, can he have the ego that I know something? Right? He's still a student. The master is sitting over there. How am I going to have any arrogance? I'm a Sikh. And you know the most arrogant people on earth? ਮੁੱਛਾਂ ਤਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੀ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ and Gurbani says that ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੇ ਗੁਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਪੁੱਤ ਹੋ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਪੁੱਤੋ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੇ ਗੁਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਪੁੱਤ ਹੋ ਹਰ ਜਪਿਓ ਹਰ ਨਿਸਤਾਰਿਆ that's what is going to help you ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਛੜ ਜਾਵੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਤਿਨ ਕਾਲਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਜੰਮੇ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਬਾਣੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਦਿਲਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ ਤਨ ਮਨ ਸਾਜ ਸਿਗਾਰਿਆ he has given you this body there is a purpose for it he actually not only gave you the body ਤਨ ਮਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਿਆ it gave you the capability
Potential.
and what that capability should be जिन तन मन साज सिगारिया तिसे तीले मिलाए तन बेसंतर होमिए इकरती तोल कटाए तन मन सबदा जे करी अंदिन अगल जलाए हर नामे तुल ना पुजई जे लाकोटी कर्म कमाए अर्ध शरीर कटवाइए सिर करवत धाराए तन हेम कल गालिए भी मनते रोग ना जाए हर नामे तुल ना पुजई सब डिठी ठोक बजाए so it has given 2 basic ritualism. One, to depend on the fire. And the idea is, the fire is a symbolism of what? You throw anything impure in it, it burns the impurity and keeps the pure. Right? I mean, ladies should know that. I mean, they take their, both the argument कद होती है आ सस ने सुपाया सी चल गया जो तोड़ा के दी मैं आ बनवा के लिया फिर कहते लो सारा तांबा ही निकला टांके बहुत ऐसी कहती सी 22 कैरेट का दिता है तो 14 का भी नहीं मतलब की है when the goldsmith will put that under the fire it will burn the entire impurity, and the pure gold will come out of it. So the symbol of fire was meant to signify that to the humanity. That's samagri. Samagri is not supposed to be your butter and this and chandan ki lakkad and this and that. The thought was, take something of your own or agni di peta kar. Take the impurity of, make a promise to yourself that थोड़ा जा मेरा झूठ तू ले ला, आगे च जला दे, मैं जरा झूठ घट बोलिया करांगा, थोड़ा जा मेरा क्रोध ले ला, थोड़ा जा put something from you so that the fire will burn it and you will keep rising above. We completely forgot that, and that's what is happening here. So Gurbani has given 2 rituals that we do. Number 1 was to take the ritual around fire. The second was to go to the hill stations or punish the body that way. Now the third, Kanchan ka kot dat kari bao havar gavar dan. Dat kari, to give it away, dan de da. Havar mean kode, gavar mean gawa. Ha literally means the horse, and ga literally means the cow. Var means the best of all. Havar, the best of all horses, best of all cows. And Kanchan literally means the gold. So if you take Kanchan ke kot, literally जिन्हों कहने मना मोई दान करना, if you did that, भूम दान गौवा घनी भी अंतर गर्भ गुमा. So what will happen then? He said, मेरे वर्गा दानी कोई नहीं. There's a beautiful story in the life of, and that story is repeated all the time, particularly in the Vedanta, that this king had a principle that anybody who comes to he would always give something to him. And his so-called Rajguru is sitting next to him. And a saint comes to his place and he wants to give it something to him. And he asks him, what is your desire? And he says, I have no desire. But if you really are so desirous of giving, please fill up my bag. वो चोली आगे कर रहा है और राजगुरु कह रहे हैं, Rajan, be careful. He says, why? This is not an ordinary saint. So, मेरे राज तो कभी खाली को गया ही नहीं. Rajan, be careful. दान दा इना हंकार है. मेरी सारी उम्र की कीती कमाई, how can I let him go without giving him anything? So he tells his servants, I said, bring. So they start filling up their plates of expensive stuffs and they put it in the bag. Bag ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਸਾਰੇ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਬਦੂ ਝਾਤੀ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਤੇ bag ਖਾਲੀ ਹੈ. The whole of his treasure is completely gone. Eventually, he surrenders himself and said, take me. He said, okay, go into this. So he jumps into the days and he disappears. Now everybody is saying, what are you trying to do? उसने अपना राज भी देता, अपना शरीर भी देता, what are you asking for? So he has given me nothing. This is not my chola. This is his heart. As a king, he was never satisfied how much he had. Anybody who gave him, I want more, I want more. I was showing, when I did that, I was actually giving him a message. This is who you are. And he didn't believe. Why? Because he is now so egotistical that he thinks that he can buy the acceptance by surrendering the body. But the body is not his. Right? What a message. Is the body yours? How can you give the body? Body has been given to you as a gift from somebody else. How can you give somebody else something? Give me something that is yours. So when he comes back, and he says, "ਹੋਰ मैं ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦਿਆਂ? राजन, यही तो मांग रहा हूं, ये दे दे। ਹੋਰ मैं ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦਿਆਂ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਹੀ ਦੇ ਦੇ। ਕੀ? मैं। ਹੋਰ मैं ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦਿਆਂ? ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋ ਮੰਗ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ? ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਤੇ ਮੰਗ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੈਂ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ, ਤੇਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਨੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਲਿਆ। एडा वड्डा दानी होके भी तू बेकार रहे हैं। क्यों? जिंदा जिहड़ा दान करता रहा उन्होंने अहंकार वधा गया। And we read that, listen to it every Sunday morning in आसा दी वार, don't we? सखियां मन संतोख उपजाए, देने कै विचार, मंगे दे दे साइसा गुण। दे के तो क्या करता है? दे दे, देन मंगे कितना? सहसा गुणा, हजारा गुणा मैनू ज्यादा मिले ता दान देता है। अच्छा उथे ही बस नहीं है, देन शोभ करे संसार। अरदास करवा देता उठ के, सारी दुनिया को पता लगे इथे शोभा मिल गई, उथे जाके 10,000 गुणा मिल जाएगा। And that's the thing Bani is pointing out. Daन by itself will do what? कंचन के कोट दत्त करी बाव हैवर गैवर दान, भूम दान गौवा घणी बी अंतर गर्भ गुमान. Garb means the ego. The ego will go up. So, what needs to be done? Ram Naam Man Bedeya Gur Diya Sachla. Go back to that stage which has been told you. Take that word. When you do that, okay, now the next stage. Man Hat Buddhi Ketiyan Kete Ved Vichar. That's another karam, which is what? Gyan Marg. Bhakti Marg and Gyan Marg. What's the Gyan Marg? Keep on digging and analyzing so much that you know everything about it. And Gurbani says, is that possible? Can you know everything about anything? Think about it. You can take the flower from there, you can cut it, you can break it, you can boil it, you can analyze it, maybe you can get the aromatic compound out of it and you can make a perfume out of it. But do you know the flower? Do you know anything about the flower? How the flower feels, how the flower grows, how the flower dies, how it is born? Do you know anything about it? You can take this water and analyze it. It has hydrogen and it has oxygen, but do you know water? The only way you can really go to know water is when you yourself become water. The only way you can know about the flower is when you yourself become the flower. Then you will know what flower feels. Otherwise, you can know about it, but you can not know it. Just as, if we want to know God, is it possible to know God? We know about God a lot. But the only time we will know God is when we become God. And we have a possibility of becoming God, every one of us. But we keep on talking about them, which is what this is point saying, Man hat buddhi ketiyan kete ved vichar. The Vedas, all those gyan is what? They are talking about the things. What is that called? That's called knowledge. You are collecting the information. That's all. It's just like somebody saying, I'm a professor of swimming. How to swim? Well, you must have your hands like this, and you must have your legs like that, and you should flap it like this, and you should move it like that. And I am going to draw the picture on the board. You also make notes. Make sure that this is how you swim. Do you think he has taught you swimming? Now you can remember all those and repeat to others, and you can become a PhD also. But the swimming is only known when you jump in the water yourself. That's when you know what the swimming is. Before that, it was just information, knowledge. The difference between knowledge and knowing. You know something when you experience it. No, you know about something when you analyze it. And that's what is going on. Man hat buddhi ketiyan kete ved vichar. Take those grunts and start analyzing them and start arguing them. But what happened? Kete bandhan jiya ke gurmukh mokh dwar. All that is doing is kete bandhan. It's creating the bondage for you. Pad gaddi ladiye. Pad padiye kha. Pad bedi paiye. This becomes literally पैरां दी बेड़ी बन जाती है जेड़ा ज्ञान है. Why? Because you start believing, I know it. No, you don't know it. You will only know it when you are thrown into the pond and you have to come out of it. I don't know. First time you will say, I don't know swimming. Oh, Professor Saab, kitabaan kithe padhiyan gayiyan? What happened to them? Now do it. You can't. That's experience. Experiential awareness is knowing. Collecting the data is just knowledge. And that knowledge just becomes your bondage. What is required? Sachon ore sabko upar sach achar. This line has been misused, misinterpreted for a very, very long time. If you go to Gurdwaras, you find that जी सारे ऊंची चीज जड़ा है सच्चाई है पर सच्चाई तो तभी सच्चाई वाला कम है. That's a contradiction. Actually, this is being read wrong. Now, those of you who have it, I'm going to make a suggestion to you so that you can see it. When you read Sachon, Ore, Sab, Ko, the word ऊड़े दा थल्ले दा जेड़ा औंकड़ वाला ऊड़ा है इस नूं उतार के ते कक्के दे नाल लगाओ. And then read it. सच्चो ओरे सब को परे सच आचार. The meaning will become clear. Means what? The ultimate truth is the highest of everything. But unless you have the lifestyle of following the truth, तुहाडी समझ पैना नहीं. सच्चों ओरे सब को पता कदों लगता है? परे. कदों पता लगता है? परे सच आचार. सच्चे आचरण सच की तलाश में जड़ा चलन वाला है ये गल ओदे पल्ले पैनी है. दूजे ने कहना एवं झूठी बोलते पे जी, इतना नहीं हो सकता. सबको ऊंचा आखिए नीच न दिसे कोए. एक ने भांडे साजिए एक चानन तय लोए. कर्म मिले सच पाइए तुर बख्श न मेटे कोए. सबको ऊंचा आखिए. Why? Again a reminder. The subjugation of the ego. Subordination of the ego. When Kabir ji says, Kabira, सब थे हम बुरे, हम तज भलो सब कोय. जिन ऐसा कर मानिया मीत हमारा सोए. Isn't that amazing? Normally when we meet others, what do? I normally have fun with this. ਜਾਣੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੰਗਣੀ ਕਰਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਮੰਗਣੀ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਮੰਗਣ ਚੱਲੇ ਆ, ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਮੰਗਣ ਚੱਲੇ ਨਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਗਏ ਤੇ ਮੰਗਤਾ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਅਜੀ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਾਂ ਨੇ, ਐਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਾਰ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ, ਇੰਨਾ ਜਵਾਨ ਹੈ, ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਹੈ। ਅਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਮੰਗਤੇ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਲੱਗ ਪਈਆਂ? ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮਨ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ। ਮੰਗਣੀ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ? I am here to ask you whether I deserve it or not. Give this to me. That's it. The days are gone. We have completely forgotten. This is what Gurbani is saying, that you need to remind yourself, which is sabko ucha aakiye. When you remind yourself all the time, the ego will remain under check. नहीं जी मैं तो एडा बड़ा काम किया है, एडी बड़ी रिसर्च की है, एडी बड़ी कमाई की है, मेरे वर्गा नलायक हो ते वो अपने बच्चों, मेरे बच्चे बड़े सियाने ने, तू की कीता? बच्चे ने अपनी मेहनत की हुई, तू की कीता? जो होर कुछ नहीं थे, फलाने जी साड़ा पिंड एडा बड़ा। The ego is so insidious in us that we constantly fall trap into it. And Gurbani constantly reminds us. Says, सबको ऊंचा आखिए नीच न दिसे कोए, एक ना भांडे साजिए एक चैनन तह लोए. Understand that. This is a vessel created by him, and he knows how much this vessel deserves, and he has given that much to everyone. एक चानन तह लोए. In every human body, केड़ा भांडा शरीर, उसका चानन है, और कितना चानन है, it depends upon the capacity of that भांडा. कर्म मिले सच पाइए. So what should you do? कर्म मिले, उसकी कृपा दा पात्र बन. Karma means his karamat, his meher, his grace, his gift, his prasad. Karam mile sach paiye. If you become deserving of his grace, then it is guaranteed. What? Tor bakshna mein take away. Nobody is going to be able to take that away from you. Sadhu mile, sadhu jane, संतोख वसे गुर भाए, अकथ कथा विचारिये जे सदगुर माहे समाए. Sadhu mile, sadh mile sadhu jane. Means what? If you won't have the desire, the term sadh means what? The one who is in sadhana, जिसने के मेहनत करनी है, जिसने साधना करनी है. If you have that desire, then do what? Sadhu jane. Find the company of those. This is what is called sangat. Find the company of those. And when you are in that company, what will happen? It will help you to do what? Santokh vasai, gur bhai. A certain contentment will start arising in you. How? Because they would be all, you will be seeing so many contented faces around you, and suddenly you will think, why am I worried about? They are living without it. What's my problem? Something that is so, oh, I can't do without it now, I must have it. And the whole life is focused on that. I must have it. I cannot live without it. I need it so badly. No, you don't need it. You just want it. And when you are surrounded by those, it starts developing that contentment. Akath katha vichariye je satgur mahe samay. If you have the urge to do what? Satgur mahe samay. If you want to become one with him, then this is what you should always bear in mind. ਅਕਥ ਕਥਾ ਵਿਚਾਰੀਏ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਖਤਮ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ। ਆਵੋ ਭੈਣੇ गल मिले अंक सहेलड़िया, मिलके करो कहानियां, समरथ कंत किया। क्यों भाई? गुरबानी कह रही है whenever you meet, आओ मिले, आओ सारे सहेलियां सखियां कट्ठे होके बैठिए। आओ भैने गल मिले अंक सहेलड़िया, असी पुराने मित्र, आओ सारे कट्ठे बैठने हैं, बट फॉर व्हाट? मिल के करो कहानियां, समरथ कंत किया। कहते जिहड़ा सारियां दा खसम है उस दियां गल्लां करो। वाई वाई शुड वी टॉक ऑफ समबडी एल्स? ओदा अगे जवाब दिंदे, कहते साचे साहिब सब गुण, अवगण सब असा। whenever you are talking of your own खसम, है ना, एक मेरा चाननी कुड़े, चन 14वीं चनन दा टोटा, उत्तों दिसे भोला भाला, पर विचों दिलां दा खोटा, ते एक गल माड़ी उसदी, है ना, भावें वो चन दा टोटा है पर एक गल माड़ी जरूर है। there is not a human born on this earth जिहदे विच कि एक गल माड़ी ना होवे। so what you do? So when you're together, don't talk about people at all, don't even raise the subject, don't talk of people, talk of what? Akat katha, talk of him. साचे साहिब सब गुण, अवगण सब असा। ह्यूमन बॉडी काम क्रोध का चोलड़ा सब गल लगे आए, जितने भी इथे आए ने, they have all these things. So don't talk about them, talk about the creator. And मज़े दी गल है, you will never run out of the things and you will never go to the negative because everything there is positive. फिर एक गल माड़ी उसदी नहीं कहनी पड़ेगी। Everything is good, everything is great, everything विस्माद नाद विस्माद भेद विस्माद जीव विस्माद जंत विस्माद नागे फिरे विस्माद अग्नि विस्माद पानी विस्माद खेडे बिटानी। Everything you look at it विस्माद विच, you wonder how it is. Isn't that amazing? कि तुसी इत्थे बैठे हो, बाहरों किसी दे पैरां दी तुरन दी आहट आवे ते पता लगदा ना अपने घर वाला आ रहा है, ना ओहदा शक्ल वेखी है, ना उन्हें आवाज मारी है, ओहदी पैरां दी आहट तो पता लग जांदा। कहंदे विस्माद वाली गल नहीं कि जितने जी इस धरती दे पैदा कीते हन, they are so unique. Can anybody do that? Think about it. So, की कर कथ कथा विचारिए जे सतगुर माहे समाए. If you have the urge to become one with one, make this change in your life. जिथे भी बैठना है ओदियां गल्लां करनियां। हुण साडे लिए मुश्किल हो जानी है ना, असीं तो क्लब विच गए सां, उत्थे कौन गल्लां सुनेगा। तुसी हैरान हो गए, पिछले 5-7 साल तो मेरी सोशल लाइफ बिल्कुल बंद हो गई, कोई बुलाऊंगा ही नहीं, कहते जो आया सामने बैठा तो उन्हें फिर गल छेड़ देनी है। आगे बड़ा पार्टी बिजरी ना होना है, क्योंकि अगे गीत गजल गाइया थे, हूँ गीत गजल गाई दिया ने, उन्हें गल छेड़ दी जो कहना छड़ यार पार्टी का मजा क्यों खराब कर रहे। या कई कहेंगे भाजी जरा तुसी थोड़ा बाहर घूम फिर आओ ना जरा, दो घुट ला लीए, मैं तुहानू रोकदा नहीं, तुहाडी वाल वेख के शर्म आ जांदी है। गल की हुई है? द चेंज इन माइंडसेट। Nothing has changed. The world is exactly the same the way it was. Just you have changed. And if you make that change, कथ कथा विचारिए जे सतगुर माहे समाए, तो फिर की होएगा? पी अमृत संतोखिया दरगह पैदा जाए। Now you are now getting to the stage किथे वो अंदर अमृत पैदा होना शुरू हो जाएगा। Remember, Amrit is not the subject of outside world. Amrit is always from inside. बाहरों अमृत नहीं आ सकता, अमृत अंदर पैदा होता है। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਦਰਗਹਿ ਪੈਦਾ ਜਾਏ they are now ready to transcend the cycle of life and death ਘਟ ਘਟ ਵਾਜੇ ਕਿੰਗਰੀ ਅੰਦਨ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਭਾਏ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਘਟ ਘਟ ਵਾਜੇ ਕਿੰਗਰੀ that means every fraction of your human existence start hearing that soundless sound anhadanad everywhere it is his words जो बोलत है मृग मीन पखेरु हर बिन बोलत है नहीं हो जो बोलत है मृग मीन पखेरु हिरन मछली ते पंछी ब्यूटीफुल मेटाफोर जो बोलत है मृग मीन की धरती ते रहन वाला पानी च रहन वाला ते हवा च रहन वाला तिन्ना दे कोलों की है कहते आवाज तो सीधी है ना सभे घट राम बोले रामा बोले राम बिना को बोले रे लुक एट द चैलेंज कहते मैं दसो सही you are saying that I am speaking are you come on prove it that you are speaking नहीं सभे घट राम बोले कि जिहड़ी शक्ति आ रही है just because your mouth is moving doesn't mean you are speaking the energy is coming somewhere else and that's the same energy for everybody so don't confuse that I am saying you are listening no kathata bakta sunata sohi ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਕੁਝ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ But when will you get that experience? Right now it is pure knowledge. How it will become knowing? This is Virle ko soji pai Gurmukh man samjhaye Nanak naam na vichade Chute shabd kamaye Shabdi kamai na Now look at the word ਜੇਕਰ ਗਾਣੇ ਵਜਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਛੂਟੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣਾਏ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ शब्द गाए नहीं से किया जा सकता नहीं ना गाना किसे कम आंदा है ना सुनाना किसे कम आंदा है ना बजाना किसे कम आंदा उसकी कमाई कम आंदी सो जेकर विरले को सोझी पई there are rare souls rare human beings who accept this and walk on that path and if they are able to Gurmukh man samjhaye if they are able to convince themselves to walk on that path then what happens Nanak naam na visare chute shabd kamaye they start the meditation process they start doing the kamai of the word and eventually they get to the stage where pi amrit santokhya darge paida jaye they are eventually done the job for which they took this birth in this human body form. So that concludes the Ashatpadi 14th. We will take a pause here. I want to remind all of you that this is Agad Bodhbani. You can't take anything as a final thing. This is to get you started thinking in those lines yourself. See for yourself. What does this mean? Particularly the youth has this not only a requirement but a responsibility. Be a Sikh by choice, not because you are being told. Analyze, see this, and if there are questions, comments, if there are any doubts, seek out. Find out. Don't accept just anybody's wishy-washy things. That's what happens mostly in Gurdwaras. Even if you have a question, you go to the Granthi or the Pai and they say, oh, I'm busy right now. We'll talk about it later. Or go read that book. And you are left wondering what is that really means. So, anything I can help you with, feel free to contact me. 2 weeks from today, we'll meet here and continue this process and take the 15th Ashatpadi. 2 weeks from today. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
If there are any questions, we can discuss it. That's another.
I was a little curious.
Yeah.
Then you jump in the water, you can jump in and feel how the swimming is done. But how do you become a flower or a butterfly?
Beautiful. Beautiful question. When you go into the meditation stage and you start with the japa, right? That's the first stage. If you stay with japa the way it is prescribed, it will become simarna. Meaning thereby, when you are doing it in the beginning, you have to be alert and conscious of every syllable, every word, and the breathing, how you're, and slowly it becomes part of the second nature. Now you don't have to remember it. It automatically, whether you're sleeping, whether you are walking, whether it becomes part of your breathing. Mm-hmm. When it becomes part of your breathing, and then you sit down, you will start feeling that you are seeing the things from inside, not from outside, because now you're getting into the dhyana avastha. The day you are able to eventually get into dhyan for a sustained time, you will get the freedom from the body completely. So your consciousness will be able to leave the physical body, just like a car, park it here, and you can roam around. Your consciousness can roam, and it can adopt any other physical body that it wants to experience. So you can literally become part of a flower and experience a flower. At the third stage, dhyan the avastha. And final avastha is samadhi. When you are in the samadhi, then you are part of him. By that time, there is no boundary left. So remember when we were discussing the 7 layers of the... Okay. When you are free from your astral body, that's where that capability is available. So it takes a time to get it.
So Shabad is only the first stage.
Is it just the first stage?
There's the concentration.
Right. That Shabad is required to bring the scattered energies into a focus.
Concentration.
That's it. Once the mind is focused on your demand, you close your eyes and every thought is shut off. At that point, you are ready for the next stage. So on the third stage, the freedom of the consciousness to roam around, to see. If you choose to. If you don't, you stay focused and go into samadhi and forget about all those things. Some of the things that you hear about, some of these yogis, some yogi can do this, some yogi can do that. That's what happened to them. At the cross boundary of Simran and Dhyan, they got a glimpse of something, they turned it into business right away. And there's a certain anand in that also.
Yeah, that's,
Majority of the people.
one may think that they have achieved what they had to
Yeah.
achieve.
Gurbani says that. Seva thodi,
Not a mistake.
mangan bahuta, महल ना पावे कह तो पाहुता कीता कुछ भी नहीं महल ना पावे तो दुनिया जी डिक्लेयर करता मैं तो पहुंच गया नहीं आई गॉट एवरीथिंग आई एम नाउ ए ब्रह्म ज्ञानी and that declaration by itself is the most egotistical statement because a real Brahma Jnani would not have to say it.
Right.
Bani says that शब्दों ही भगत जाप दे जिनकी बाणी सच्ची होए कहते उन्हें तो मुंह खोलने की लोड़ पता लग जाएगा किथे खलोता उन्होंने कहने की लोड़ ही नहीं कि मैं संत है मैं साध है मैं आ मैं वो मैं नहीं कमाई की है मैं हो गया they don't need to. They sit down with you, they say a few words and you know it.
That in the animal body, even though they don't have the tongue to speak or say shabd, naam, but maybe can they be at a level which is
Higher than that?
Higher than that.
The problem is, Divan, sometimes they don't have that awareness.
Mm-hmm.
The intelligence to think that there is something higher than, or there can be something higher than, does not exist. There it is a pure survival instinct at that level.
Right.
That's it. Perpetuation of the race, they have that innate desire, and then they have the desire to survive. That's it. You see, even in humans, till every human get to that stage, is there all to it?
It's a survival. Yeah.
Right? Till then it's a survival. Right?
Earn, make the,
जिन्ना चिर ये मन च आवाज नहीं उठती
make the living.
कि बस आही कुछ सी खा के भी देख लिया, पी के भी देख लिया, पहन के भी देख लिया, बस आही कुछ है. This is all there is to the life. When that question comes, that's when the journey starts. Whereas a dog, a cat, a lion, a tiger does not have that capability to ask that question. Is this all there to it? Because remember when we were doing that 4 levels, the first level, all 3 dimensions are completely asleep. Right? Physical ਜਿਹੜਾ table ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ. And then the next level is the plant. One more dimension is added, which is the emotion, right? And then the animal kingdom, bird kingdom, the intellect. That's one more dimension is added. The concept of spirituality is only available to the human body.
Right.
And that's why Gurbani keeps on reminding you, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਰੀਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਦੇਖ ਸ਼ਰੀਰ ਉਧਰ ਕੁੱਤੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਐਸੇ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਇਹ ਤੇਰਾ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੇਰੇ 'ਚ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਹੈ,
Potential.
ਤੇਰੇ 'ਚ ਪੋਟੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੈ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ, कुछ कृपा करें. बहुत दिनों बाद दर्शन दिए आपने.
आज याद किया कि कई दिनों से हम इनको याद कर रहे थे.
हाँ बहुत इन्हों की याद तरह दी हुई है.
और बाई चांस आज फोन आया, मैंने बताया.
सो नाइस. क्यों बेटा तुसी को गल करनी?
Not really. It all makes sense. Very clear. And, very helpful. We'll be coming back.
When you read without that point of reference, say for example, तुसी गुरसिख बच्चियां उन्हें जे जपजी का पाठ कर दिया तुसी, है ना? अच्छा, तो शुरू किया एक ओंकार सतनाम. भाई इतने एक ओंकार क्या है, सतनाम का की मतलब है? And why Satnam? Why not Kartapur first? Unless you see that relationship. ऊपर क्या है, जप थले शुरू कर देता है, सोचे सोचना हो गई. ये इतना की मतलब है? When you read the lines by themselves, they seem completely disjointed. For argument's sake, पहली ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੋ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ? ਕਿਵ ਸਚਾਰਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਕਿਵ ਕੂੜੇ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਪਾਲ. ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਹੁਕਮ ਰਜ਼ਾਈ ਚੱਲਣਾ, ਨਾਨਕ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਨਾਲ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਅੱਛਾ, ਅੱਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ? ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੋਵਣ ਆਕਾਰ, ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾ ਕਹਿਆ ਜਾਏ, ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੋਵਣ ਜੀ, ਹੁਕਮ ਮਿਲੇ ਵਡਿਆਈ, ਹੁਕਮੀ ਉਤਮ ਨੀਤ, ਹੁਕਮੇ ਲਿਖ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਈਏ, ਇੱਕ ਨਾ ਹੁਕਮੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਸ਼ से ਹੁਕਮੇ ਸਦਾ ਪਵਾਈਏ. ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ? हुक्मे अंदर सबको, बाहर हुक्म ना कोई. ठहरो इथे जरा, सोचो जरा. पहले की क्या सी कि हुक्म दे विच रह, है ना? हुक्म रजाई चलना, तेनू हुक्म दे विच रहना चाहिए. ओके, I took that lesson and I went to the second and it says हुक्मे अंदर सबको, बाहर हुक्म ना कोई. तो जे सारा कुछ हुक्म विच ही है तो मैनू पहला को क्या हुक्म दे विच रह, मैं तो बाहर निकल ही नहीं सकता. You see? Why it's not that simple? If everything is in His will, Why did you tell me pay attention to the will? I am already bound by it. What's going on here? Isn't it a contradiction? ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਕਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਕਮ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾ ਸਕਣਾ ਨਾਲੇ ਕਹੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਪਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਬੁਝੇ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਬੁਝਣ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Go out.
to solve a riddle बुझारत है ना बुझारता समझे ना riddles. So गुरबाणी said हुक्म दे विच रहना ते सारा कुछ हुक्म दे विच this is a riddle for you, solve it. Why it is being said? Unless you solve that riddle, those who are solving the riddle, what will happen to them? Nanak hukum hai jai bujhe ta उन्होंने से की पढ़ते हैं हाउ में है ना नहीं इन्हों पढ़ो ता हाउ मैं कहे ना कोई की होएगा जिस दिन ये हुक्म का पता लग गया उस दिन हंकार की जड़ कटी जाएगी हाउ हंकार मैं कीता है it will disappear provided you solve the riddle कि what does this mean? Where am I bound by his hukum and where do I have the freedom of choice? And what is this riddle? Solve it. ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ riddle solve ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੜਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਵਧਦਾ ਹੀ ਗਿਆ right? Yeah. You get up early in the morning, you take your and say ਮੰਮੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਚਾਹ ਰੱਖ ਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੀ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਲੇਟ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਨਾਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਹਾ ਲਈ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਠ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੀ
became a ritual.
What has it become now? It has become ਕਿਰਿਆ a ritual. ਉਹ ਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਤਨ ਕਟਵਾ ਦੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੂੰ ਗਿਆਨ ਮਰਜੀ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੂੰ ਦਾਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਤੂੰ ਪਹਾੜਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਗੱਲ ਬਣਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ You have to understand the message that's being given to you. ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਿਆਨੀਆਂ ਕੋ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ 5 ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਪਾਠ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਨੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਸੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ What was that method that Nanak knew and told to Bhai Lehna who became Angad, who told to Baba Amru who became Amardas, who told it to Bhai Jetha who became Ramdas? What is that secret? The Granth wasn't there then. There was no Kirtan, there was no Pad, there was no Akhand Pad, there was no Kirtan Mandali and there was nothing. And that's not a time period of 1 month. These are 5 generations. First master to the 5th master. Even if the generation time is 25 years, that's 125 years. In the land of Punjab, 5 people actually married with children, living the family life, became Brahmgyani. How did this happen? Does anybody talk about it? That's all documented in there. And we give excuse to it. Guru Gobind Singh, did Guru Gobind Singh do anything opposite to what Guru Nanak Dev Ji has said? Impossible. He could not say anything that Guru Nanak had not already documented. But we have done so much damage to our religion that we have divided the Gurus. Shri Har Krishna te aaye. Have you been to Delhi?
Yes.
If you go to Bangla Sahib, and listen to they actually conclude their sermons by singing Shri Har Krishna te aaye jit ditte sab dukh jaye. And if you go to Sisganj, and they will start Teg Bahadur Simriye Sakaranon de aave daye, as if the Gurus are different. क्योंकि वो गुरुद्वारा जड़ा है 6वें महल दे नाल लगा होया है, गुरुद्वारा 9वें महल दे नाल लगा, उन्हां दे नाल और वो पागल दे बच्चो गुरु गोबिंद सिंह तुहानू कह के गया है जागत जोत जपे निसबासर एक बिना मन एक ना आना है। सिर्फ उस एक दी पूजा करनी है जिहड़ी जागदी जोत है, किसी होर दी नहीं। तो तुसी गुरु गोबिंद सिंह दा नाम लैके होर काम शुरू कर दित्ते ने। Our religion has been completely hijacked by the two forces, a political force and a pujari force. The pujari is interested in the money, politician is interested in the votes, and the common man just does not have the courage to stop them and say, wait, hold. Let me ask you a question. I just did that only about 2 years ago. Jathedar Vedanti aaya and I asked him, let me ask you a simple question. And when I asked the question, he told the people who were managing, say, ऐसे बंदे ने गोली मार देनी चाहिए. Why? He is trying to distort your history, man. These people should be shut up completely.
What was your question? If you don't mind.
There were 5 questions. First question was, the people that you authorize, your organization, says that these people are capable of doing prachar in the foreign country. Are they ready to do that? If they cannot speak the language of that country wherever they go, how can they communicate with the young generation? So why are you sending such people? Second question was, why you are insisting that the service should be done only in Punjabi? Those who know Punjabi, do they understand Gurbani? So what is this insistence कि ये पंजाबी च नहीं करोगे तो बच्चे जड़े ने पंजाबी बोलणगे भी नहीं? You bring a PhD in Punjabi and I'll put it in front of them and say, okay, the translation करके दिखा. And they'll tell you they have no clue what is being written here. It's a complete fallacy that by learning Punjabi you will learn Gurbani. No, by learning Punjabi you will be able to do the part. That I understand. So what are you making our generation to be? Just parrots? Read it and repeat it? So you can see that there are these kind of questions, and I asked a question about the stories that are mythologically stories that they come and tell. So have you validated that these are true stories? Why are these being repeated? Well, Gurbani ch likhe hai. Have you read that properly? And I took the example, Hasat khelat tere dehore aaya, Bhagat karat nama pakad uthaya, Hinddi jaat meri jaad maraya, Chhipe ke janam kahe ko aaya, Le kambali chaleo paltaye, Dehore paase baitha jaye, Jyo jyo Rama har gun uchre, Bhakt jana ko dehra phire. This particular hymn has a story with it. And the story is that Namdev went to do the meditation in a mandir. And the resident Brahman kicked him out because he was a Shudra. And Brahman said, you cannot step into the mandir because you are a Shudra. And he became very sad. He got out of there and went around on the back of the mandir and sat there and started doing meditation. And as he's doing meditation, the building is rotating and the murti is rotating. So I asked him, I said, let me tell you what the real translation of this is. So I gave him the real translation and he then was absolutely out of his. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਮੂਰਤੀ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੂਜੇ ਬੰਨੇ ਹੈ तो मैं आख्या जथेदार साहब मूर्ति का मूँह घुमाना सौखा होंदा है कि सारी बिल्डिंग का घुमाना सौखा होंदा है Could you not visualize yourself? Because I'm an engineer. I know if the foundation is going to shift, that land is going to be ripped apart. There is no way for just the half of the building twist and not the foundation. And in order to make money out of it, you guys made a building, brought a statue and put the statue up facing the opposite way and made this story out of it. Whereas Gurbani has said nothing of the sort. Listen to the lines. Hasat khelat tere dehore aaya. That means, if you literally translate it, कि हसदा खेड़दा परमात्मा दे घर आया तेरे दियोरे कि गुरबानी मानदी कि परमात्मा किसी एक थां ते रहंदा है Is it possible? वो सर्वव्यापी नहीं तो तेरा दियोरा किस तरह हो गया परमात्मा का घर मंदिर परमात्मा का घर किस तरह हो गया ये ट्रांसलेशन गलत है अच्छा फिर भगत करत नामा पकड़ उठाया चलो यह गल असीं मान लेने हैं कि बई वो उत्थे भगती करदा सीगा ते ब्राह्मण ने नहीं बहन दिता शूद्रां नूं बड़ा बुरा हाल करदे सन उस जमाने च मान लिया पर अगली लाइन वेख हिनड़ी जात मेरी याद मराया छीपे के जन्म काहे को आया ये शिकायत कौन कर रहा है भगत कादी मैनू जन्म क्यों ऐसा दिता है कि उथे जात का फर्क है Does it worry about it? जी आसा दी वार कह रही है तिथे जात ना जोर है तिथे जियो नवे जिनकी लेखे पत पवे चंगे से के उथे जात पात का मतलब भी कोई नहीं तो भगत जात की शिकायत किस तरह कर सकता उन्हें कहना मैनू फर्क ही कोई नहीं तेनू फर्क लगता फिर तू कहता भगत है अच्छा फिर वो कर की रहा है आखिर ले कंबली चलियो पलटाए तो जे कंबली चुक के घर नूं चलिया सी ते किस हंकार जाके पिछे बह गया दोरे पासे बैठा जाए फिर अगली लाइन कह रही है ज्यों ज्यों नामा हर गुण उचरा है भगत जना को पंडित दा मंदिर फिरदा नहीं किया उन्होंने है ना भगत जना दा भी नहीं है भगत जना को देहरा फिरे लो हुणे दी ट्रांसलेशन करिए असली गल की है हर इंसान नूं जदों भगती दे रस्ते ते चलदा बंदा तो पहला यह हुंदा है कि मैं भगती करने की जगह चंगी बनावा है ना चौंका चौंका दे के चिट्टा कपड़ा विछा के करके वी वांट टू क्रिएट दैट एटमॉस्फेयर। हुण वो गरीब है, तो ਉਹਦੇ मन च की आया कि अगे ऑलरेडी माहौल जिथे बनया है उत्थे सीधा क्यों ना चल जा, मैं अपने घर बह के क्यों करना है, भगती करनी है, मंदोल तुर पैंदा। दूसरा वहम उस जमाने का यह सी कि भगती करने के लिए भी सिर्फ उच्चियां जातां नूं हक है। वो भी मन में डाउट है कि मैनू इजाजत भी है, मैं करा कि ना करा, ये वो सोच रहा है। तो हुंदा की है, जिसले ब्राह्मणों अंदर नहीं बैठ दिंदा तो वह कंबली मोढे ते रख के जिसले वह कंबली मोढे ते रखता है तो बाहर निकलने की कोशिश करता है, उसले अंदर चानना हो जाता है कि जे परमात्मा सर्वव्यापी है तो चंगी जगह माड़ी जगह का फर्क ही है, जिथे मर्जी बह जाओ। तो हुण घर भी एडी दूर जाके इन्ना टाइम भी वेस्ट क्यों करना भी घर जाके भगती करनी, इतने होनी शुरू कर देने। यही नहीं ना मेरी अखां नूं वेखना चाहता तो मैं पिछे बह जाना, गल खत्म। उत्थे बह के भगती कर लग पैंदा। की हुंदा जिहड़े होर भी सन जिन्हां दे मन विच सन जिहड़े भगत बनना चाहते सन उन्होंने भी होश आ गई, नाल आण के बह गए। सारिआं नूं पता लग गया भी ये जिहड़े दो मेन भुलेखे ने, एक स्पैशल जगह होनी चाहिए है, दूजा स्पैशल जन्म होना चाहिए, दोनों गलत ने। नामदेव दे इस एक्सपैरीमेंट दे नाल बाकी भगत करने वालियां दा भी भुलेखा निकल गया। दैट्स व्हाट दैट स्टोरी मीन्स। वो गुस्से हो गया, कहने लगा तू साडा इतिहास बर्बाद कर रहा, तेन गोली मार देनी चाहिए। मैं तुहानू कहानी इस करके सुनाई है बेटे, तुसी इस पीढ़ी दे मालिक हो, तुहाडा हक है और फर्ज है कि इसकी आप खोज करो। जो भाई ग्रंथी कह जाते हैं सुन के चुप करके घर जाके बैठ, हाँ जी उन्होंने कहते गलत समझ को बहती नहीं। उल्टी सुल्टी कहानी क्या है, पकड़ो दसो। ऐसी ऐसी अजीब कहानियां सुनाते हैं। कहते हैं जी गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਘੋੜਾ ਅੜ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਘੋੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਉਤਰੇ, ਨੀਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਸ਼ ਦਿੱਤੀ, फिर उपर चढ़े, उन्होंने मारिया भी पर घोड़ा हिले ना। फिर थले उतर के 10 कदम आगे गए, वापस आए, घोड़े ते चढ़े ते सिंघां नूं कहा जी आपां दूजे पासों भी आवांगे। सिंघां ने कहा महाराज जी की करते पे हो, लेट हो रहे हैं पहला ही। तो कहते नीला नहीं तुरदा पिया, मैं की करा, नीला नहीं जा रहा इधरों दी, मैं तेन मार के भी वेख लिया। महाराज जी जाता क्यों नहीं है कहंदी, ओ पोलियो ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ अगला खेत आ रहा है ना, उस खेत में कभी किसी ने तंबाकू बीजिया इस करके नीला नहीं मनता, हूं नहीं जाना उस खेत विचों दी। गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी कह रहे ओदी बदनसीब वो मेरे कोल आन के बह गए बाद मैंने आख्या ज्ञानी जी साडा गुरु उस घोड़े नालों भी बेवकूफ सी कि घोड़े नूं तो पता लग गया, गुरु नूं पता नहीं लगा। गुरु एवें मारदा रह गया उन्हें डंडे। तुहाडी की मत नूं हो गया? तुसीं जे सिखां नूं इह कहना चाहुंदे भी तंबाकू ना पिया करो, सिगरट ना पिया करो, ते इह कहानी सुनानी जरूरी? तुसीं जाके देखो उत्थे गुरुद्वारियां दे विच कैलेंडर लगे हुए ने, ਇੱਕ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੁੱਕੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਦਰਖਤ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਾਂ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਵੇਖਿਆ ਨਾ,
Yes.
ਥੱਲੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਾਗਾ ਕਰੰਗ ਟਟੋਲਿਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਗਲਾ ਖਾਈਓ ਮਾਸ, ਇਹ ਦੋਏ ਨੈਣਾ ਮਤ ਛੋ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਖਣ ਕੀ ਆਸ। Can you imagine this stupidity?
What does that mean?
ਫਰੀਦ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਲਗਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਰੀਦ ਨੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਗਲ ਬਨ ਕੇ ਉਲਟੇ ਲਟਕ ਕੇ। ਫਰੀਦਾ ਤਨ ਸੁੱਕਾ ਪਿੰਜਰ ਥੀਆ ਤਲੀਆਂ ਚੁੰਡੇ ਕਾਗ, ਅਜੇ ਸੋ ਰੱਬ ਨਾ ਬਾਹੜਿਓ ਦੇਖ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ, ਕਾਗਾ ਕਰੰਗ ਟਟੋਲਿਆ ਸਗਲਾ ਖਾਈਓ ਮਾਸ, ਇਹ ਧੋਏ ਨੈਣਾ ਮਤ ਛੋ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਖਣ ਕੀ ਆਸ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, ਤੇ ਕਾਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਠੂੰਗੇ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਮਾਸ ਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਫਰੀਦ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਖਾ ਲੈ ਪਰ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਛੇੜੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵੀ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ? ਇਹ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ? ਕੀ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ? ਇਹਨਾਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਤੇ ਜੇਕਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਲਟਕ ਕੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਹੈ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਹੱਠ ਯੋਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਮਾਣਾ, ਸਹਿਜ ਅਵਸਥਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੋਗੀ ਜੇਕਰ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਗਤ ਸੀ? ਕੋਈ ਜਵਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ। ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ? ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ? ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਾਗਾ ਕਰੰਗ ਟਟੋਲਿਆ। ਕਾਂ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ? ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਸਿਆਣਾ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਡਿੱਗਦਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਗੰਦਗੀ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਨਿਗਾਹ ਬੜੀ ਤੇਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਡਿੱਗਦਾ ਗੰਦਗੀ ਤੇ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ? ਉਹ ਹੈ ਮਨ। ਉਹ ਮਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਯਾਸ਼ੀ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਵਾਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਸਵਾਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਮਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਕਾਗਾ ਕਰੰਗ ਟਟੋਲਿਆ ਸਗਲਾ ਖਾਈਓ ਮਾਸ। ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਸਵਾਦ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਰੀਰ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਨਾ ਹਿੱਲਣ ਦੀ ਸੱਤਿਆ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਤੁਰਨ ਦੀ ਸੱਤਿਆ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਤੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਕੀ ਰਿਹਾ? ਆਖਰੀ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪਾਪੀ ਕਾਲੇ ਕਾਂ ਵਰਗੇ ਮਨ, ਆ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਾ ਗਵਾ ਲੈ, ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਭਗਤੀ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸ਼ਰੀਰ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਰਹਿਣਗੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਸਕਣਾ। ਸੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਬਣਾਈ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਬੇਕਾਰ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲਾਇਆ ਇੱਥੇ? ਆਖਿਰ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਕਰੀਏ, ਬੜੇ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਲਿਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਲਾ ਦਿਓ, ਹੁਣ ਭੇਟਾ ਕਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰੀਏ, ਹੁਣ ਸੁੱਟ ਦਈਏ? ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਬਣਾ ਲਿਆ ਇਹਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਂਟਾਨਾ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੰਨ ਗਏ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਲਾਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ? ਸਾਰੀ ਇਮੈਜਿਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਜੇਕਰ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਕੋਈ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਪੇਂਟਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੈਗੇ, ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ? ਬਈ ਸਰੀਰ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਮੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਸਰੀਰ ਦੀ ਪੂਜਾ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਲਿਆ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਹਦੇ। तो मैं एक दिन इस टॉपिक पे बोलिया हो तो उन्होंने ला दी दो हफ्ते रही किसी कोई हो तो जाया कर जी गुरुद्वारा सजिया नहीं होया फोटो ले ला गए उन्हें फिर लाती है और फिर बुत परस्ती। सो मैं तो सारी मिसाल इस करके दे रही हैं। You need to see your religion with completely fresh unbiased eyes and look for the real meanings behind these words. That's why this is Guru. It is not the Granth that's Guru. It is that word inside which has the message in it. That's the Guru. And you want to find that out. What it is. For yourself. And unless it completely satisfies your mind-body system, don't accept it. Keep seeking. Keep searching. Don't stop. That would be the biggest contribution that then you can pass on. Right? I'm sure that when you go to schools and you're in classes that you discuss all these things. People talk about Islam, people talk about Hinduism, they talk about various religions. So it's important that you have that comparative understanding. किथे
नॉर्थ अपने सैक्रामेंटो
आहो आहो ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਇਤਨੇ ਮਾਰ
बड़े चित्र पाए कहना ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਲ ਕਟਾਉਣੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮਤ ਦਿਨੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਜਾ ਕੇ
ਮੁੰਡੇ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸਾਰੇ
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਕਰੋ ਜਾ ਕੇ
ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ
ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ